Hello, everybody. My name is Hellkaiser. Welcome back to The Last of Us. I think this is actually episode 7 that we're on now. So far, I'm really enjoying the series, and from what I can tell, looks like my audience is as well. I think this series has got like 25 to 30 views.
There's our bridge. We're a little closer.
On just the first couple of episodes.
Just keep at it.
Which is pretty good for a channel my size, which pretty much has no subscribers. So I'm very grateful to all of you who have come along for the ride, and I think I even picked up a new subscriber or two from this series, so I'm definitely very grateful for recording this, and to everybody who's watching. This is mostly just a little project for fun, but it's nice to know that it's growing.
I thought you had plenty of food in your time.
Oh, we did. Some just chose not to eat it.
Why the hell not?
For looks.
That's stupid.
Not realistic. I mean, everybody has the right to want to look good. I'm one of those people. People talk about like body positivity, but realistically, if I'm not mistaken, that movement was started for people with like burn victims and car crashes. You know, people that have had major accidents and injuries that have required them to have to get used to living, you know, disfigured. Wasn't originally meant for people who just eat a lot. And I know there's some people who have conditions that make it hard for them to lose weight, and that's respectable. Let's see if she says anything about the Savage Starlight movie. No. But, and those people, they need to be treated with respect and not be made fun of for being overweight. But there are a lot of people who it's not because of any specific problem, it's because of the fact that they just don't know how to control their appetite, I'll finish that in a little bit. My son, my little boy, I buried him today. That's a sad day. No parent should ever have to do that. What did he do? Join a protest? And now they're labeling him a traitor. Fine, I'll show them what a traitor does. I've joined them, the rebels, the rioters. They gave me a gun, some bullets, and a mission. I won't survive this, but neither will they. How many other fathers and mothers like me are out there? It's only a matter of time before the city falls. Let's go knock out the first brick. Ava. So this woman signed up for a suicide mission? I mean, yes, the government...
That kind of thinking. No one wins.
Joel said it best. I'll try to talk and move. I don't understand that. Yes, it's very sad that your child would die, but who's the worst side? The side that does the killing, or the side that weaponizes a woman in her grief? Because they literally sent a woman on a suicide mission who was gullible enough to be able to fall for that crap just simply because she was in mourning. And that's one of the things I really liked about this game. I guess that's sort of when I say this game's story isn't really that much better than a lot of the others. Realistically, I guess the way that you can argue with me that it is better is with some writing like that, because at times it does really shine through. How the rioters are painted not as heroes, but as morally great characters, and so are the government. It shows that there's not really a right to either side of this whole ordeal. I like to increase weapon sway before I do anything else, and then max health. I'm not concerned with listening distance or anything like that'd be nice to have, but like crafting speed, it's not that important because I'm not crafting in the middle of a fight. I don't have that. Really, I don't even see why that was even an upgrade, because realistically speaking, unless you are playing on the very easier difficulties, you're not ever going to have enough supplies at any given time to be able, okay, that's locked, to afford to craft on the fly like that. But anyway, back to my original statement. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look good. I think, though, like, I listen to a lot of older music. I've already made that clear. The Carpenters, Karen Carpenter, if you've ever heard of her or her music, popular for stuff like Top of the World, Rainy Days and Mondays, other songs like that. She had a problem with her image newspapers were saying that she was getting fat, and she wasn't really that fat. You know, she wasn't even fat. And my grandmother would call that perfectly plump. And that, what people said about her really affected her.
That jump.
If you get me up there, I can move that plank.
Alright. Anyways, I was saying, and she had a problem with her image. She cared a lot about what people saw of her, and that ended up really damaging her, and it ended up contributing to her death. And that's a very sad thing. And so, I mean, there's a middle ground to everything, and there's just some people, unfortunately, that, whether it's because of other people in their lives or because of their inability to have self-control, can't do that. Okay, is there anything else over here? Okay. No reason to be risking my life there. Whoa, okay, just a rat. There's gotta be something here. One thing I would say this game did great too is also tension. You go into one of these buildings, which one of the good things, one of the only things I'll say about the sequel was some of the more open-ended levels allowed you to go into buildings and actually have to feel like you're taking a risk. Could there be monsters in there waiting for you? It goes down tonight. We're going to take the eastern checkpoint. I've stashed some extra supplies at the Regal Apartments. It's marked with a red X. Well, thanks for the note to tell me of that, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I could figure that one out without a note. Okay, nothing else here. I'm going to guess that's correct. Let's get out of here.
Hey, there's one of those floating raft things again. Use it?
Wait here. Let's see where this goes.
What do you mean, see where this goes? I guess we can dive. I see the thing. Oh crap, that's the military. Does this not go deep enough?
What the hell? Oh, this place is bad.
That does not sound good. So what, the army got out to bust a cap in some random woman? That's rough. Okay, I can dive. I like how there's just fish in what used to be a street. It is amazing how nature can do that. But again, I feel like a lot of these games kind of tend to oversell that to a certain degree. I think I Am Legend had one of the best setups in that department simply because of the fact that it looks like the city's beginning to become overgrown. The cracks in the sidewalk are filled with grass, but it's not overdone where it's like completely covered in kudzu vine and stuff like that.
What was that all about?
Get on. We're cutting through the hotel.
Okay.
Set up that plank like they did.
So I gotta go all the way through this building anyway. Come on, you can do it. Don't whack me in the head with it.
Alright.
Oof.
Now you just need to find a way up.
I know how to get up. That's one thing about this game I do think is a bit overdone. The traversing through the water.
This place stinks.
Yeah, wood's all rotten.
Did you go to coffee shops a lot?
I did. All the time.
And what would you get?
Just coffee.
Think those hunters are gone?
We're about to find out.
I guess I should have stayed where I was. I didn't want to interrupt that dialogue. Anyway, what was I saying? Joel doesn't look like a coffee shop kind of guy, but he does look like a plain black coffee sort of dude.
It's clear, Ellie. Come on down.
Oh, fancy.
And it's time.
You ever stayed at a place like this? Before it all went to shit, I mean.
No, this is too rich for my blood.
But it was nice.
Safe. No idea what the code is, so I'm gonna have to find that out. Maybe it wouldn't be in. I know. Just give me a minute to look around. That's one of the things I don't like about a lot of modern games. I believe that if you need help, it should be there to assist you. I don't think any game should be so complicated like the original Zelda, where you're running around and it's obscure stuff that gets you where you need to go, or Castlevania 2, where you have to stand still for 10 seconds and let a tornado come and take you away. That's just ridiculous. But there is a middle ground.
I miss coffee.
I mean, certainly, just because everything's a military quarantine zone, it wouldn't be impossible to get coffee, would it? I mean, I guess it could be, but that's a bit... I don't know. I believe that Bill guy said that the only people still making... So what is up here? Is there anything up here? That the only people still making car batteries was the Army. Okay, that's fair. I can buy that. I got 50. I just need 50 more pills, and then I'll have completely reduced weapon sway. That means if I miss a shot, it's only because of myself. Which, honestly, I don't get why they make... I've never understood games... What do you call it? Love of doing that. I'm the type of person, you know, if you make a game, let people have upgrades that are useful. Don't just let them get upgrades to essentially get up to where they should have been from the beginning. Like, Joel has been doing this for years. He even said himself he's been killing people for a long time, both good and bad. So I'm pretty sure he'd be an old hand at shooting at this point. He couldn't have survived this long if he wasn't.
Come on up.
Okay. That looks like progress, so I'm gonna go over here. Man, this place is really rotted out. Completely unstable. Even just standing on those steps, you could give away with you real easily. Well, that's an easy place to find the code. To all staff, combination for the security safe for the hotel guest valuables is changed. The new combination is 221056. 221056. And there's, I guess, nothing else up here. Are you serious? I can't climb through there. At least we're making good progress. Didn't have to look around this long, as long as I did on the last save. 2210 56. Wow, this is what was stored in the safe for the guest. Well, I like how it does look water damage. Improved durability of blades. Improving the durability of blade can be important when replacements are unavailable. Yeah, some guy would just... Some survivalist staying at this 4-star hotel would definitely want stored in the safe his important guide on how to sharpen his blades. Now they break after 3 uses. So I like how that's instant. It's not going for any of my extras. So now my shivs are actually much more useful. Does that include... I'm going to assume that it probably still means the doors, but I'm not certain. It's been a while since I played. I don't remember. But that's one of the most important upgrades in the game, being able to use your shivs multiple times. because that way you're not just sitting there and when there's like 7 clickers in a room having to, you don't have to go loud anymore or use up Molotovs and stuff. You can just say, okay, there's 3 clickers, I got 1 shiv, that's 3 kills.
Watch your step.
Yeah. Okay. That's definitely progress. Anything else in here before I leave? Nope, because if I recall, there's an encounter here. Yep.
Oh, shit. Get down, get down.
How many is that now?
5 just this week. Hey, I'm not complaining.
I bet you're not. We done here?
I got another floor to check, man.
Check for what? I ain't seen a clicker in weeks.
That's because we're thorough. We're gonna keep being thorough. Let's wrap this up, right?
Oh, all right, whatever. Let's just be cool, man. Take it easy.
You can take it easy and help. I like how some of them are wearing helmets and they look like a proper militia. Even the military didn't have helmets. But at the same time, anybody who's not just played video games and has either watched, like ballistic shows on YouTube, something like Garand Thumb, or anybody or anything else, or has any actual knowledge of military stuff, helmets do not stop bullets. I don't think there's that many. There are maybe 1 or 2 in the world that can stop a bullet, as in a real bullet. Like some people say, those Chinese mask. If you've played Rainbow Six, the guy who can erase himself from the camera is his kind of mask. Can stop a bullet, but from what I've seen on videos, that's not exactly real. Yeah, it can take the bullet, but you probably won't survive it. Most helmets are designed to stop ricochets. That's what they focus on. Soldiers' lives can be saved by a sniper. Say they're on a gun platform and on a tank. Say they accidentally miss by just an inch, hit the metal, and then it pings up, and it would hit them in the head, but the helmet saves them. That's what it's for. It's not meant to take a bullet head on and you survive, no problem. Even if you do survive and it does stop it, it's still going to probably penetrate to a certain degree. How much so, I can't say. I'm not an expert. But, you'd be so dazed and probably so injured, possibly brain damaged, you would not be getting back up and shooting a gun. I know it's a game and they have to make concessions to make the gameplay interesting, but I've always just wanted to see a game where helmets don't matter. It's just, let's just be real here. Helmets ain't going to save some poor bastard. He's going to have to learn to duck and just make a game where there's not but like 5 or 6 enemies per encounter, but make it intense shootout, like Uncharted on crushing difficulty, but good AI, but not make it so hard that you literally couldn't do it. So give you the tools to be able to move quickly from cover to cover, or just be able to scan and shoot effectively. I don't know, but it's probably too hard to ever do that, but maybe one day we will. Oh. Too bad those machines don't work. Okay, there's still more here because she hasn't stood up yet. I love how these Fedra doors are just locked, just like Half-Life. I still say that's one of those ridiculous things, and I know that they just have to make it look, it's a hotel, so it has to have a lot of rooms. But still, you think at this point, 2022, we figure out a better way than just putting these door lock things, military-style door locks, on there. Who else is in here? Okay. This is where we came from. Well, so far nobody's found a body and yelled out. I don't even know all the places I've been killing people at. But she's still in stealth mode. Maybe it's because I am, but normally when you kill the last guy, Joel has a special animation that he does. Okay, there's something in that bathroom. Okay. Molotov cocktail, there we go. I got 3 of those suckers. Now if we run into a real big horde of clickers, we can at least take care of ourselves. We have the tools. Okay, I'm going to take that as there's nothing else here. What the heck is that? Some kind of fertilizer. I don't want to leave here without looking for the X. I know that said apartments. Maybe this is the apartments now because we've crossed over. Yeah, so I'm guessing this is like an apartment building. Is there anything up here? Something a little further off in there. Dang it, Joel. Okay. Hardware. Or scrap, salvage, whatever you want to call it. Another thing that in these games I've never been able to fully understand, how a man can find a nut or a bolt or what looks like a slide to a 1911 and somehow miraculously turn that into a component for his 9mm pistol or something like that. Again, video game, but oh man. I'm gonna guess that was a suicide pact. At least they were together.
Oh, creepy.
Just don't look at it.
Guess they took the easy way out, huh?
It ain't easy. For many, it was better than letting a clicker or a hunter do it for them.
Trust me, it ain't easy.
There we go. I like how he doesn't just sit down and condemn them. A lot of games like to say that when people shoot themselves in a zombie apocalypse, they're taking the easy way out. I mean, for some people, you know, the military turns certain people down, as he said. You know, Joel seems very knowledgeable on this situation, which makes him a very good character. I think that's why a lot of people didn't like how he was portrayed, let's put it that way, in the sequel. Because he seems like such a... Crap.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I hear it too.
All right. Search these rooms.
Anyways, I was saying, he seems like such a smart and intelligent and extremely capable man. So, for him to suddenly change his ways seemed just very off-putting. I know definitely to me. And very much to a lot of other people.
Let's just be cool, man.
Thanks for the revolver ammo. Hopefully I won't need it. I know the system of these echolocation pings is kind of cheating, but realistically, it's not really that much because the hearing mode in general is a cheat. It's just a slightly better... Out of the way, Ellie. I like how he does look like he's standing next to her. You know, he puts his arm above. Some other games have done that too, like Persona did it.
Look, man, we can work something out, okay?
The only thing we can work out is you shutting up and dying. I take a no negotiation policy around here. What the heck is that? I'm not knowledgeable on bombs, so I don't know what that's supposed to be, but I have no idea why it would be in a mini fridge in someone's room either. Okay, isn't that the bathroom where I just choked that kid out? Yes, it is. I love how they have sawed-off shotguns and stuff. And I know I already got a shotgun, but I've said this before. If I was Joel, I'd be at least attempting to carry as much as I could, even if it slowed me down a little bit, or giving it to the girl and let her carry some of it. Because you never know when a situation will arise where, you know, he might be out of ammo. As I say, if that guy didn't hear that, I'm going to be very disappointed. He didn't hear it. And he didn't hear that. I wish there was more than one animation. I mean, you're paying $70 for a remaster. And realistically speaking, they didn't add any new takedown animations. Even Batman has more. He does the same stranglehold, but he has a few different animations for doing that stranglehold on enemies. They could have given Joel maybe 1, 2 more. I mean, I'm not asking for a lot here. I'm just asking for just a little bit more effort. Some would say the bare minimum. Again, I don't mean to keep beating on this game's price tag, but realistically, I'm not a consumer show. I'm not here to tell you how this game compares to every other game on the market at the moment. But I am playing the game for you. I know what I paid for it, and I feel like if other people see this from my videos and say, I've never played The Last of Us, I'd like to pick it up. Then I feel like, you know, they should know how I feel about the game as it stands currently. And I just cannot shake the fact that there's not really much in terms of improvements. It's mostly just the same game with 1 or 2 bells or whistles added on. For the price they were charging, you'd be expecting, or at least I was, expecting something along the lines of, you know, really dramatically improved graphics, enhanced gameplay, additional weapons, the inclusion of like a prone button, and maybe enhancements to the stealth, such as enemies being smarter, maybe 1 or 2 new types of enemies. You know, because they called this game a remake, and yes, like I've said before, you can argue about a remake or a remaster. Okay, yeah, that's where we came. But at the end of the day, some games have managed to do better. The Shadow of the Colossus was a game that people would not be satisfied if you did a lot to it. Although I've heard a lot of people say that it would have been better if they included the cut Colossi, and I do agree that should have been. You know, it's very simple. When you start the game, let there be classic mode, a version that's pretty much like the Shadow of the Colossus remake we got. Very little enhancements, just the stuff that they really wanted to do, but it's as close to the original as possible. And then if people aren't happy with that, then you can add your content. Like when they did the Demon Souls remake, which was a great remake. Other than changing the male-female thing, Okay, is this the same note that I found? Wow, that's... Well, they said a red X. That's not a red X. Okay, that's one of the guys I killed. I'm guessing that way is the way I haven't been, but I want to make sure that I don't miss nothing either. Anyway, they said in an interview, I can't remember their name, they always make great remakes. Bluepoint. Bluepoint Games did the remake. They said at one point they thought about adding new items, and more importantly, and this is something I feel like they should have done, add an easy mode. But they said they didn't want to change the core experience. Well, I say screw that. You know, like, you can make it an option. You can turn it off. But I've never beat a single FromSoft game. I've almost beat Sekiro, and I'm still playing that game. And I've almost beat, what's it called? Elden Ring, the new one. But I haven't beat them yet. I'm still playing them. I never beat the Dark Souls trilogy, and I never beat Bloodborne. Simply because they were too difficult, and unless you want to learn how to get good and get it perfectly right, it's too stressful. I'm the kind of guy, I have a family, I have people who I'd much rather be spending my time with than, you know, I love playing games, and sometimes, like, even to this day, my mom says, I only play for about 2.5 to 4 hours at max on my playing time, but sometimes my mom says that I play too much. And I used to wonder about that, but realistically, in some ways, I think that she's right. I mean, every day that adds up, but, you know, when you get older, it isn't like when you're a kid and you get to play for quite a long time and do anything you want to do. You start having more responsibilities. But, you know, I try to manage my time very well. But I don't have time, especially when you can't pause the game. Now, that's the gripe that I get the most irritated at with Bloodborne and all that. You can't pause the game, and if you have a kid crying in the background, your mother calling, your girlfriend calling, you know, supper's on the table, somebody's knocking on the door, pizza delivery, whatever the situation is, insert 1,000 things that you can throw in there. Okay, there's a dude over there. I don't think it's fair to try to say, I'm going to make a game where I have to monopolize your time to enjoy it. Devil May Cry 5 is one of my favorite games. If you've seen my channel and seen my playthrough, you know that. Ooh, damn. As I was saying, Devil May Cry 5 is one of my all-time... It is my favorite game of all time. And Castlevania Symphony of the Night is my second favorite game of all time. They both have a pause button. They both can be played start to finish with minimal difficulty. Even the secret ending thing of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, the inverted castle, isn't that hard to unlock. It ain't nothing where it takes 12 steps and a lengthy quest line to complete. It's a very short and sweet transaction. Okay, is this progress or... Smoky down here. As I was saying, they're both easy to complete, and they both have pretty high skill ceilings. If you've seen some speed runs, the Symphony of the Night, you know, it's impressive. If you've seen people do combo videos for Dante or Virgil, that is nutty, some of the stuff that these psychos can pull off. Okay, this is just back to the first floor. And so you gotta respect it. And to me, while, yeah, Dark Souls has some extremely cool stuff. People beating bosses barehanded or with a broken straight sword, which somehow manages to do less damage than a bare fist or something like that. You know, that is insanely cool. But at the same time, it's ridiculous. And I play League of Legends. I play multiplayer games where you can't pause and you're dedicated to... Even then, I get annoyed with that. And some people say, well, you can just pause the game. You can, what do you call it? Exit, and then you'll load back outside a boss door or something. Yeah, but that's not always easy, especially if you were just this close to beating the boss and you just have to answer that phone call. At least Demon's Souls and Sekiro and Elden Ring all have secret pause buttons. With Demon's Souls, you hit the photo mode and it pauses the game. With Sekiro, it just pauses. They were smart with that one. And with Elden Ring, if you open a certain pause menu, it will pause the game, which is fantastic. That's why I've been able to play Sekiro and Elden Ring. If I ever do record Dark Souls and stuff, which I thought about doing at one point, I might use an easy mode difficulty. Not something where it makes it so easy that everything dies in one hit, but just so that I can have a decent enough time with the game. And I don't think that's wrong. People say, well, it's about getting good, or even I've seen IGN stuff say, well, you can use a mod to lower the difficulty, but it won't be as satisfying for you. I call BS on that. If I have fun with the game, if I enjoy it, because the music is great in Dark Souls, the boss design, well, sometimes reused and a bit uninspired, is I'm sorry, I have trouble talking sometimes. It's usually really, really great. You know, you look at boss battles like Radon, just Star Scourge Radon, or Rodan, however you say his name. And then the Dragon Lord Palaxis and Godfrey, just in Elden Ring. Those are some great boss battles.
There's a ladder inside this elevator.
Hold up, let me try to open it.
Okay, what else do I get here? Okay, I can make another bomb, yay. Okay, let me reread that note and no, not this note. It goes down tonight. We're going to take the Eastern Checkpoint. I stashed some extra supplies at the Regal Apartments. I marked it with a red X. Is this the Regal Apartments? Let's just take a look real quick. I'll try not to take more than like 5 minutes up maximum. And we can use that time for conversations. But I think I pretty much said my thing on Dark Souls. And the only way that I've been able to play Elden Ring, I'm using a Spellcaster build, which I know some purists will say, well, that's the easy way. And I also, if you go down to Mogwin's Palace, there's that area where you can kill that chicken monster thing. I just killed that thing like probably 10,000 times, and I'm like level 184 or something like that. And that's how I breezed from after I killed Godric the Grafted, or whatever his name is. And I quickly unlocked that place. That was literally what I spent. I beat every boss at about level 150, and just after that I started leveling up passively. But, you know, some people would say, well, then you don't have the true experience. Well, those bosses still kicked my ass because I didn't play with high vigor. I put almost all my points in intelligence and strength. I had like 30 vigor, and everybody was saying on the Reddit, gotta have like 40 vigor, and I quickly learned they're right, because I was really having a rough time. Enemies would one-shot me, even with all that levels, and so I'd go back sometimes and do it 1 or 2 more times, get 2 or 3 more levels, and think, okay, well, that'll make the difference. And it never seemed to do it. And I never fully could figure out what I was doing wrong. Okay, these are the apartments. But how do I know where the dude stashed it? He said he put an X. And I've seen some of those like FDJ things on the wall. But there's no X's that I can see. And, I mean, did he... Let's take a look. He just said he stashed it at the apartments. Yeah, that's a bit too vague, my friend. That's like saying I stashed it in New York City. Well, there's a lot of places in New York City. There's a lot of rooms at these apartments. Okay, let's follow these indicators as best as I can. Man, I'd hate to be breathing in that kind of smoke. Maybe it means this room. I don't see no red X in here. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day today. Mine's been pretty good. I've been, after I record, playing some League of Legends. I was at Silver 1. This is my first time. I played League of Legends on and off since 2016, but I used to have a very strong fear of playing ranked. In any game, I just didn't want to play ranked because I thought, okay, I've really got to try hard, and I'm not certain that I have that ability to try that hard. And so I took a policy of not doing it. And this is my first season doing it. I got up to Silver 1, and I haven't really settled on a role. I say the best role I've done is support. I can play everything from Nami to Jaina to Swain. He's one of my favorites. Lux. I've even done Ashe support and stuff like that. I used to play ADC, and I had fun there until I got on a massive losing streak. Now I'm trying to play some top lane. Just simply because I'm the type of person, I know some people say you're supposed to find 2 or 3 champions that you really like and just play them. But there's 150 plus champions almost in League of Legends. And I don't know why anybody would want to sit down and waste their time playing 100 and so games on one character forever. You know, and there are some people, if you go on Reddit, you'll find people talking all the time, and sometimes it can be considered an addiction to some people, that they've spent over 2 years playing League of Legends, or they just played Azir or some character like that. And I think to myself, my lord, you know, I don't think gaming addiction is real. I know that whole idea has finally seemed to fade out like it should. But when you hear about stuff like that, some people got a problem. I love playing games, and that's my way of de-stressing. You know, I've said I got a broken back, I've got asthma, I've got GERD. You know, just and then since the pandemic, I've said, you know, it's been a struggle for me, like it has, I imagine, for a lot of people. And so, especially then, games became my way of de-stressing. You know, take out the aggression on some random character in a game, you know, have fun beating a boss. That makes you stress, but then you can have fun when you finally beat him. And, you know, that's fine. But 2 years worth of playing only one character in a multiplayer game, to me, that seems very unhealthy because, well, yes, you can say, well, I mastered him. You know, you can master Kung Fu, but that's at least something where it takes practice and a lifetime of dedication. This is a video game you're talking about. One day, the servers will shut to that game, just like anything else. Everything fades. And really, with Kung Fu, if you never have to fight nobody, you never have nothing to show for that either. But at least you're exercising and stuff like that. I said I used to be really into sword play. I like katanas and stuff like that. But yeah, since my back injury, I haven't been able to swing a sword very well. When I do, if I'm actually sparring with a partner, you know, a few good blows and my back's starting. It's hard to hold up my arms anymore, especially for an extended period of time. I'm going to have to Google this. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. But it's hard to hold up my arms for an extended period of time. Since we moved, you know, hanging curtains and stuff has been a real bad pain. Just trying to keep my arms a little bit higher up so I can mount the curtain rods and all that. And so just sword training became something where I just had to give that up until I got better. And I'm still recovering. I went to physical therapy, but you know, I don't know how to. I'm not saying physical therapy, I'm sure, works for some people. It didn't work for me. It didn't work for my mother when her back pain became too big for her. Okay, this is where we came from. So we're back to where we started. Let me just come out here. Well, I'm not going to go on. I'm just going to Google it. Last of Us stash. That's the first time I had to Google anything. Oh, they're talking about that room where I had to use the shiv, it says here. So I've already had it, so I've been looking around wasting your time for nothing. I apologize. Oh well. What's done is done. But I hope that what I said was, in some ways enlightening or anything. If any of you guys have any interest in swordplay or anything, just be careful, watch yourself. I don't think my injury had nothing to do with swordplay. I used to be a skateboarder when I was a little younger. I would say a kid, but I mean I did it longer than that. I might have fallen and done that. Could have been any kind of injury just from being a kid, but stuff like that. When you do kung fu or any kind of martial arts, karate, jeet kune do, muay thai, anything like that, one day it is going to take a toll on your body. If you like bust boards and try to impress a girl or something, one day you're going to get arthritis in your hands. I've heard too many people say it, and might sound young to be saying I'm all stoked up, but yeah, it can happen. Okay, I think I'm going. I just want to find the stupid stairs. 3rd floor stairs. Yeah, there they are. Okay, how much ammo do I have for that bow? I've got 9 arrows, so if I need to be in if I'm in a situation where I need to use that thing, I will. Come on. There you go, man. I'm guessing somebody left their luggage and tried to get out of here real quick. Elevator shafts are not a fun place to play
It'll be
in.
a tight fit, but
Just in case.
Ooh. Oh crap. I'm gonna have to boost her up. Gentle. Oh crap. I know what must be done.
you find me something to climb on. Okay, here we go. There we go.
Oh. Ooh. That would be either a dislocated shoulder or cracked spine.
I'm alright! Are you okay?
No! You scared the shit out of me!
No! Stay out there! I'll make my way up to you.
Don't do anything stupid!
One day I was doing sword practice, and I managed to.
All right. Where to now?
Well, we were not doing real training. We were just. Ooh. We were just playing around, and I managed to get kicked back into a wall and hit my shoulder up against like the wall real hard, and I popped my shoulder out, and I had to pop it back in place, and boy, that hurt. That roughhousing and stuff, you start to pay for it. You're not supposed to pay for it, I guess, in your 20s, but that's why you gotta learn to be careful. Man, this place looks creepy, all molded out, and I guarantee it would smell to high heavens. I don't get what I'm supposed to be doing in here. There's no generator. Oh, there are generators, but that thing would never work, and I wouldn't be stupid enough to try to start it. That's a good way to get yourself fried. There ain't no getting up there. I guess across.
Not tried over there yet.
Well, that's comforting. Take your girl across the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs. A lot of dead people. That's not a comforting sound. I think I'm going to stick. Can the zombies go underwater? That's an interesting question. Like, will they chase you underwater? Like, he strangles them and they die. So clearly, the spores have to use some parts of the human, and they say that dead people can't turn, so it isn't some sort of Walking Dead style zombie thing. So they need your heart beating, they need your chest pumping and all.
Spores.
They need your chest, everything working, your lungs. So would the zombies follow Joel or anybody else underwater? That's actually an interesting idea. I don't know if the game ever answers that question. Dude, we've only got about 7 minutes left.
Over there. Find a way around this gate.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure before I went that way that there was nothing over here.
Maybe that doorway.
Joel seems a bit too calm for this. I'd be panicking. I'm not the worst swimmer in the world. I can actually swim good enough to keep myself afloat, but I'm not by any means a strong swimmer. And with all this dirty water, you know, Lord knows what kind of bacteria is floating around in here. He could get any kind of sickness. You know, you could try to go swimming, you know, to try to find a way out and end up in a situation where you are. See, like, he almost walked into the spores, or just walked into them to put on the mask. I still say that's something that needs to be explained better. But either way, I'd be scared to death. That's a lot of rats.
Shit.
What, are you afraid of rats? Of course. Always has to do that at the most inconvenient time. That looks terrifying. Yeah, no generator.
I hate these things.
What things? I'm guessing he means the rats. Of how soaking wet rag and stuff can still be used to either make a Molotov cocktail or a bandage. Again, realism. Gotta love it. Restart and counter. I know I gotta restart that generator at some point. But I really don't want to restart that generator. Yeah, I'm not sure I would take those supplements. First off, all vitamins and stuff have a shelf life. At a certain point, they are going to run out. I know... That's not a very comforting sound. Like, this is where the game becomes a proper horror game, because realistically, I wouldn't consider this game a horror game in the same sense that of something like Dead Space or Resident Evil at its core. But when you hear those creepy sounds and you're alone in a very dark and dingy place, you know, anything could be out there. You can hear these sounds, but you don't know what they are. This is where this game shines as a horror game. But I guess for some people, I'd say it's luckily it didn't, and for other people, I'd say unfortunately it did. The Grand Hotel security card. I'm guessing that thing probably is useless nowadays. That's not good. Okay, well, I'm going to end this episode here since this literally just checkpointed me. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I know I certainly am. Like I said, I'm glad that people are enjoying it from what I've seen. I don't know what I'm going to record after this. I'm already going to tell you, I'm not certain that I'm going to play The Last of Us 2, or at least I know I'm not going to do it immediately. I'm going to try to finish up Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2 before the end of the month when Bayonetta 3 comes out. But I will get to it maybe. Like I said at the beginning of the series, that game put me in a real bad depression. It got me really upset and really sad at a time where I just could not deal with that. And to this day, now that all that's over and I look back on that game, I still say it wasn't a good game. And I know there's some people that will say in a few years, people will all be saying that it was a great game. No, they won't. I acknowledge the game's strengths, just like I do this game's strengths, but I feel like it was trying way too hard to be something that would be like an Oscar winner. A lot of people compare it to Schindler's List of gaming, is what they called it. And I'd say that's a very fair comparison. Maybe not so much on a grander scheme, because to compare it to something like that would be overly dramatic. But in terms of it's a movie meant to disgust you and shock you of the horrors that went on in the reality. This game is trying to shock you to a different degree. But I guess that's one of the only things that's truly comparable to it. And just like I said, it left a really bad taste in my mouth. And so I don't know. Maybe I'll play it, maybe I won't. If I feel like it's going to make me go into that state that I was in, like I'm going to just say it was a depression, because that's the closest thing it was in my mind. I don't know if I want to put myself through that just to entertain a YouTube audience that frankly I don't have much of. And secondly, if I'm not enjoying it, I don't think anybody else will really enjoy it. So I don't know. I'm going to think about it and pray about it and everything else like that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. Hope you continue to enjoy. And I hope you had a fantastic rest of your evening.